sat nav.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think about sat nav and what you think you need to know and stuff.
I just don't like them. I'm not very good at reading maps anyway. I suppose it is meant to make things a lot simpler.
Right, in a way, it reads the map for you.
Yeah, but when there's somebody, instead of... I can't explain it. It's almost like because I'm listening to it and trying to concentrate on it, and it says so many words at once with then combining numbers of roads or whatever in between, and my brain is then just like,
information overload.
What did it say first? I've forgotten what the first instruction was.
So it's the audio, taking in the audio.
Yeah.
Well, how do you find the screen? Like when you look at the screen, do you feel like you can take in what that means? Where you're going?
Yes, yeah, because it's got the little arrow and you're following it, and I think that's quite simple.
Okay.
It's just when it starts talking, because it gives so much, like it doesn't finish giving the first instruction before it then starts saying the second instruction. I understand that because you've got to go. Yeah, I do understand why, but to like try and take it all in, as well as like trying to balance out anxiety and what's going on in front of you.
And drive.
It's just
so
overwhelming.
Information overload.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. When you're looking at the sat nav, actually let's put in a destination so it comes up with the. So when you're looking at the picture now with the sat nav on, what information are you taking from that?
To follow the blue line.
Okay, so we're heading down and turning.
You will arrive at your destination at 12:24 p.m.
Right, so gets involved, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So you're going to follow the blue line. Any other bits of information on there that's helping you?
What, the little turn bit?
Which bit are we talking about, sorry?
That white bit there, look, you turn in.
So that's where you're going to turn, is it? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting. I'm not sure actually we'll go down that road.
No.
Because that's the lane that goes down to the back of the school.
Okay.
I think.
That's what I mean. I don't read maps. Well.
Okay, so you know you're going to be turning at that little white arrow bit. That's a good bit to know. So generally, actually, it's a good thing to think about. You are going to follow the blue line overall, but it puts those little white arrows at bits where you're going to do something.
Right. Okay.
So it'll be a junction, or sometimes it's not a junction. Sometimes it's just telling you to keep left, but it stays on the same road. But it's where, so when it says the next thing you're going to do, that's where the next thing you're going to be. That's what it's talking about, that area. Okay, so we've got that on the map. Yep. What about the grey lines? What are they telling you?
I'm not going there.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Can that not be helpful?
Oh yeah. It's telling you where not to go.
Which absolutely. So, for example, you're driving down this road and you've just heard the sat nav say we're going to turn right. I think they might not have told us that yet, but we are. You might not. Do you think sometimes it's really? I know this from previous people's. It's difficult to work the distances. Distances
that
can be
I
tricky.
do not like, because I'm terrible with numbers anyway, so it means absolutely nothing to me how far away we are.
No, fair enough. But what we can do is look at the map and go. So if you look to the map now, you can see it. Well, it's clearly not going to be Beverly Gardens because we see that road there, so you know it. So if you were driving down this road going, I'm turning right in a minute, you'd have a quick glance at the map and go, well, it's not this light, it's not the grey one. Yeah, so you can see where you're not going as well, so you can tick off junctions and go, it's not that one, it's not that one, it's the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can look for the next one in real life.
Yes.
Cool. What about the big blue arrow things? What's that for?
Isn't that basically like the car?
Sure,
yeah.
Yeah. So if you look, actually, it's right there. So you can see it is quite accurately right next to Beverly Gardens.
Yes.
So that's another thing. If you're getting closer to the turn you are going to take, it
will show up.
You know, your little blue guy is going to be getting there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that can help. What about at the top? What's that telling us? The one that looks like a signpost.
370 yards.
Do what?
To Place Lane.
Yeah, which way?
Is that? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pointing's okay. I'm okay with pointing. Okay, yeah. So, can you see that we've got loads and loads of information all in just one little tiny picture, just for a right turn, so we know how far away it is. 370 yards. I couldn't tell you how far that was. Like, I couldn't pick a point in the distance and say it's there. What you can do though is, do you think you would 360 yards away need to be? Is it like, do you think you could see 360 yards down the road now?
No.
So it's too far away. So can you see, like, maybe if it said 100 yards,
Probably.
you might want to be, that's like a football pitch.
Yes.
Yeah. So you like think about the fact you're driving as well. That's going to be getting there. So I think you don't need to know the exact thing, because as we get closer, actually look at the map. It can help you just kind of go, is it really far away or is it really close? Yeah. Now, what about if it said 360 yards and we were doing 70 miles an hour down the dual carriageway?
Oh, you get there a lot quicker, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So would you be more concerned about it? What sort of distance would you think you might want to consider starting to be maybe getting back to the left lane if you needed to come off, or
probably 200
yards?
Yeah.
Do you know the when you signal to come off around a dual carriageway? How do we
You
judge
have
when?
told me. It's those 3
markers?
Yes.
Do you know how far away that 3 one is?
I've forgotten.
Okay, that's fine. So each one of those, they're yard markers. So one is 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards.
Right.
So
okay.
300 yards from a dual carriageway, we're indicating to come off. So you see how quickly we go past those markers.
Yeah.
So actually, if it's saying 370 yards to come off at a dual carriageway, it's nearly there. Like we're travelling pretty quickly to it. So now you're sort of, maybe at that sort of speed, you'd be thinking in miles. So maybe at like 1 mile, you're starting to think, is it busy? Do I need to get back over? Half a mile, I want to be in that left lane. By that, yeah. So like about half a mile away. If you think about 70 miles an hour, it'll probably take you about a minute to travel a mile. Right. 60 miles an hour is a minute, basically. So 70 is just under a minute. So not taking very long to cover a mile. So half a mile, you've got 30 seconds before you turn off. So you're going to want to be already in. You don't want to be changing lane at that point, yeah? Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's different depending on how fast we're going. And obviously at 40 miles an hour, there's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just got to kind of look at the map, ask yourself, does that feel like it's really far away or feel like it's good? So this 370 yards are now, because we're going to drive down here at like 15 miles an hour, it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
I think you know roughly where it is.
Yeah.
If we were doing 40 miles an hour, that might be time to start thinking about where is it, because I'm going a lot faster. So you're looking down the road and you're gonna cover that distance a lot faster.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it doesn't have to be this exact point. It just has to be, and you can see yourself on the sat nav traveling further down the road, so you know you're getting closer to the junction. And once it gets to a certain point, you can then go, where is it in real life? Yeah. So like we can obviously see Beverly Gardens. The next turn you can't quite see because we're on a right bend.
Yeah.
That's the one we're actually going to go down. We're going to ignore the sat nav. But I think is it about opposite that dog bin, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. About that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't quite see it because of the bend. But if I was taking that road, I didn't know the road. I know it's not Beverly Gardens. I know it's the next one. So as I'm driving down that road, I would be looking for those clues. I'd be like, where's the road? Where's the road I'm turning into? You're getting closer. You'd be like, oh yeah, there it is. Mirror. That's when you start your mirror signal. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got the signpost. We have got the blue line. We've got the fact with a little arrow. I did have a sign up that it used to be. It was literally a little car. I thought it was quite cute. Like, pottering along the road. Any other bits of information? Anything else you can see on there that's helping you or not helping you, or you're not sure about?
Speed.
So you got speed limit at the bottom. Are we always trusting that?
No. I was going to say you shouldn't really go 30 along here.
So we're not getting to speed limit. Do we know it's 30 along here?
No, I don't have a clue if I'm on there. I know.
It's because you never really get up to speed. It is a 30 limit along here. But again, that's just the limit. It's just it's like housing estate stuff, isn't it? So, but however, you don't know how up to date the sat nav is, so the speed limit can change, and it doesn't automatically change on there, so we can't 100% rely on that bit of information. But it's there, and we can use it if we need to. And we can add that. You can make you think, oh, is it 30, and then you just try and confirm it on the road. So it can add there. Road names.
Yes.
So it tells us. I didn't know that this was called Rubber Lane.
Yeah.
But things like the whole Beverly Gardens thing on the right there, and then you can see Beverly Gardens on the, like it says it on the signpost over there. So that helps you confirm that you're going into the correct road.
Yeah.
What about this bar on the right? Do you know what what's that doing? Sort of the grayed out bit.
Is that 5.7 miles until you hit your destination?
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Hit's an interesting word, but yeah. So, yes. So that's like your overall journey. It's going to be 5.7 miles. The time bit at the top is the time you'll get there.
Okay.
So it's like 10 minutes. This bar, and it's a bit of a boring one on this one, is start to destination, and there's nothing in there, but it could be that it might show you any accidents on the route. So this is more if you're like doing like a 200 miles to London or whatever. It might say that, well, there's an accident in 100 miles and you might want to consider, or it might show you petrol stations on the route, and things like that, so that you've got stops, or if you've planned any stops on the sat nav, it would show you them on there as well.
Oh, okay.
So sort of like that's your overall journey over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what you're doing, and sometimes there's a smaller one here that says what you. Do you remember you said about that you're doing? Like it was on the roundabout where it said turn left at the end of the road and then right at the roundabout.
Yeah.
So that's what you're hearing, but it's also up here. So if you preferred to take it from the visual, it would have said left at the end of the road. Like that'd have been like a little left. And then up here would have been like a picture of a roundabout turning right.
Right, okay.
So if you prefer that visual, you've got that information there as well.
Okay.
Okay. How you feeling about all that now? You've got a bit more.
Okay, we'll see how it goes and what's digested.
Okay. The other suggestion I was going to offer to give it a go, because you said it was a bit information overload, do you want to try following the sat nav without the sound?
Yes, please.
So that you can sort of look for it and then...
Yeah, I would prefer that, yeah.
And then see how that goes. Because what that will do is then it means, obviously, you're taking it in your own way, I suppose. You put in your own words. And then we can maybe add the sound back a little bit later, and then you can link... Because I think the sound does help at times, but you can link it back to the visual yourself and translate it. However, if we put the sound back in and it becomes a big, like, actually that just makes it worse again, we can just take away the sound.
Okay.
Muted. Let's point that towards you then if you're going to do it.
Thank
So
you.
what we are going to do though, just because the traffic one isn't on, we are going to ignore, we're not going to go down the country lane, we'll go down that road, but the road we normally go down.
Yes.
And then we'll pick up sat nav, okay?
Right.
That's me telling you follow sat nav and then ignore sat nav.
Yeah.
But I think from there it will tell us what we're doing. As we go along then, would it help if I ask you to describe to me where we're going? Based on like you looking at the sat nav and giving me the information.
We'll give it a go.
Okay. Where's the hesitancy coming in? What are you worried about there?
Because I know how I get if there's too many things going on at once. For some reason, I just
Okay.
stop.
What would work better for you then? What do you think?
No, we'll do what you said and just... Yeah.
Nice and early. I don't mean like at the moment. I just
Okay.
mean I might just kind of... I'm thinking of it as like a prompt to get you to look at the sat nav to go, what's next, basically.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that
it's
then.
just to remind you to look at it. Otherwise
Yeah.
We'll get to the end of the road and you might be like, where are we going?
Yeah.
But if it's going well, I can then back off that and... Yeah? Sure?
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
That's fine. Right. Bye. Oh.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Is everything else okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Done all the others.
That was okay, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's when I'm at traffic lights and stuff, I just forget.
Forget what?
To do all my mirror checks.
Okay. It's interesting. I wonder if we could change the words then so that it's not about remembering, it's more about wanting to know, like intrigued about the information. Yep. So we'll take the next road on that road. Think about the space. Look at all that. Look at that gap over there. Give the sat nav a second to work out that we didn't do what it wanted us to do. Oh, it really wants you to go that way. It's weird.
I don't know why it does that up that road, because that road is so dangerous.
It's because I've not got it linked to my phone, so the traffic isn't working on it, and that's the shortest route.
Yeah.
But I think if it knew the average speed of that road, it'd probably send us the other way. So our lovely sat nav route is now not happening. So we'll again at the end of the road ignore the sat nav and turn right. What can we take from it though? Because we are still getting to the same bit. Can you see the distance?
170, yeah.
Okay, so have a look down the road and see how far away that is. Keep going. Just can you see anybody coming towards you?
Yeah.
Where's he going to pull in, do you think? Or do we have to go in here?
I'll pull in here.
Okay. Good, don't worry about getting it out of the way. Focus on where you're going to go in a minute. Go. Big stage. So, aim for the space. Yeah, maybe this is why it wanted us to go down the country.
Yeah.
Good. Keep aiming at the space available. So how far away is that junction now, yeah?
40 yards.
Yeah, can you see how close it looks on the map and how close it is actually in front of you?
Yeah.
Just trying to get you to, even though I know you can see it right now, just get used to what that looks like on the map so that you can then use that later on when you're not quite sure where the junction is. Okay. So what's the sat nav going to make us do next?
Turn left.
Cool. Surprise, surprise. As soon as we get out of this road, we'll have a look and see what that suggests. Good. I know you know we're going this way, but how can you tell we're going this way from the sat nav?
Because of the blue line.
Good.
And all of this is grey.
Good. Interestingly, not because of the top bar, the top bit has ignored that road, hasn't it? It's not told us. So if we were listening to the sat nav, and this is where maybe looking at the sat nav would be really beneficial. If we were listening to the sat nav at that point, it wouldn't have actually said anything.
Yeah.
Because it's not taken that as a junction. It's assumed this is the road ahead and not the left turn. And that's why it's really important to use that visual so that you saw on the blue line we were effectively going straight on, but you saw in real world terms that was a left turn.
Yes.
So you have to, even though the sat nav has decided it's straight on, we have to do mirror signal and do a left turn. Now I know you know the road, but can you see how if you didn't know the road, that's all the information you've got to put together in your head? Yep. And I think again, actually, if you look at this next bit, it's not telling you what we're about to do, because it's saying the next thing is 1 mile away. Yeah, so again, it's your job to spot what's going on.
It's only saying Dark Valley, it's not.
I think this is the bit where you remember it's not a driving instructor, so it's not giving you these prompts, just like going, oh, we're joining the dual carriageway, which is effectively me saying, hey, look, dual carriageway. So the sat nav's not going to do that for you. It's just a fancy map, so it's still your job to see what's going on the road. Yeah. Now that we've got that half a mile to our exit.
Yeah.
Let's feel how long it takes us to get there from that half a mile signpost. Yeah. Or half a mile off it's up on the sat nav. Yeah. So we're coming off. When do we indicate?
Now.
Do you remember we talked about it earlier? Which one of those markers do we indicate?
The third one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one do we signal at?
The last one, I think.
Yeah. So when we talk about the third one, it's the one with 3 markers, not the third one you go past.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually the first one you come across is the one with 3 markers. Yeah.
Okay.
Why do we signal earlier on the dual carriageway?
To let other drivers behind you know, and plus it's such high speed. Is that wrong?
The high speed, apart from you didn't finish the sentence.
Sorry.
So high speed because.
I was waiting for you to finish.
I know. Why does the high speed mean we have to indicate earlier?
Oh, because it's more dangerous, isn't it, going at a high speed? So you've got to anticipate what's happening a lot quicker. So
with that means the cars behind us also doing that.
Yes.
So we're giving them a warning earlier so they can anticipate our behaviour.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're right. We need to anticipate stuff earlier when we're on a dual carriageway. So if we flip that round, if we're warning people earlier, it makes their life easier, doesn't it? It was definitely to do with the speed, though. You were correct.
Yeah, I'm just so bad at wording things.
It's okay. So what's our next thing we're doing? What's the next thing we're doing?
Oh, what when we get into?
What's Santa telling us? Basically, what I'm asking.
Driving. I don't know.
So are you looking at the map and seeing just the blue line is straight on?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we talked about looking at other things, what else did you need to look at?
2.2 miles.
Yep.
Until 2.8 miles until destination.
Yep. What about? What's the next direction it's going to give you?
Well, just going straight along, isn't it?
So I think that's again you looking at the map. What about that top little bar at the top that we talked about?
Oh, what, the 1.9 miles?
Yeah. What are we going to do at 1.9 miles?
Go off on that roundabout.
Yeah. Which direction?
Left. No, straight ahead.
Good. So that's the one I think you need to be looking at more.
Okay.
Because the map is the map and the blue line is quite helpful for more immediate stuff because you can see the direction the road's going off in. But that's going to give you that earlier information. And again, if we were listening, the sat nav would have probably told us at some point, maybe in a mile, we're going to turn or something. But you need to be picking up that information from that bar, saying that's your next instruction, basically. Now we know where we're going because we know the road, but can you see if you didn't? It's really important that we know that the roundabout's coming up, so you can start planning for it. You know which direction. I think it's better than having an instructor next to you. I wouldn't have told you we were going straight on the roundabout this early. So now you already know where you're going even earlier. So imagine you're on your test and you don't know where you're going, or you're travelling to a friend's house and you don't quite know where you're going. Then you've got that information so early that you can really get it in your head and plan for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's the bit you may be missing. You're not having that look up there at that little bar.
Okay.
Now you know you're much closer.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes sense. Now, can you see how it might help as well? Let's say we're in a road that's got 2 lanes. and the sat nav was saying you were turning right at the roundabout, you might, if you're on a busy sort of 2-lane road, you're going to start considering, do I need to get in the right hand lane for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how you've got to build up that information and start making your plans. That's the sort of stuff we might do a bit later, okay, with the sat nav. Right now, obviously, we're just kind of following where we're going, but looking for those bits where you need to take that early information and plan your lanes or plan your route around the road. So a good example again would be that sat nav on the test where it was telling you to turn left at the end of the road and then right at the roundabout. That should get you thinking, actually I'm coming out at the end of the road, but actually, oh, there's 2 lanes, I'll go in the right one because it's told me to turn right at the roundabout. So you've got to build that picture up. Okay. See how far away it is on the map and then how far away it is in real life.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's have a look for our next bit of information then. Because once you've done a road, you should always be like, well, what's the next one going to be? Because it could have been one of these roads, couldn't it? Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm just looking at the map and 600 yards.
600 yards what?
Until...
What are we doing in 600 yards? What's the arrow saying?
Turning right.
If you struggle with left and right, that's part of your process. Just say towards me. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
This way or that way, it would be okay as well. Whatever works. Okay, so we know we're taking a right turn. Where is it?
Coming up. 190 yards.
You see it in real life?
Yes, this one.
Cool. You could have gone then.
Yeah.
You were thinking about it.
I was, and then I thought maybe that's a bit too.
How long did it take us to get across the road there?
Literally 2 secs.
Yeah. And that's all you've got to do. You're not trying to get out and speed up, are you?
No.
You just got to get across the road. I think trust your initial instinct.
I know, I'm so bad at it.
What's that telling us now?
That we're at our destination.
Cool. Don't pull over. Actually, no, don't pull over. Why would pulling over here be bad?
Because it would make it really hard for other cars.
Yeah. Okay. So along this road here, then, at any point, have a think about where you think would be the best place to pull over. It doesn't have to be immediate. So I'm going to stop you doing that.
Yeah, so there's another car coming anyway.
Also, you're about to pull over opposite these guys, so we're going to have that same problem. It's not like people can get through.
But it'd just be safer to...
Cool. What made you choose here?
It just seemed safer. Yeah, it
cool.
wasn't like blocking a junction, and it wasn't... Yeah, it's just a lot clearer.
Cool. More open.
Yeah.
No parked cars, officers.
Yeah.
So we'll go through all that stuff in a little bit more detail. I think once we've... I don't want to mix it with the sat nav. But yeah, just start, because we were pulling over, just started get you thinking a little bit more about moving off and choosing those places to stop. This is more like real life stuff, choosing places to stop, rather than on a test. I don't think an examiner would mention pulling over on the left when they wanted you to stop here, like way back there.
Right, okay.
Because they're not trying to catch you out. But I think there is that prep, like if they say pull over, people do stupid pullovers otherwise. So although that is your choice to choose where to pull over, and if they want you to be safe and they want you to choose a safe space, they won't do it in a way that they're trying to catch you out.
Okay.
They won't sort of say, can you pull over on the left, when there's clearly nowhere to pull over on the left, expecting you to drive down the road. However, when we're practicing in a minute, I will, because I want you to kind of go, actually I wouldn't pull over here, I don't want to pull over here, Phil, I'm going to go further down the road, and if there's nowhere to pull over, we carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, I want you, that's the way we'll go around it, but we'll go through that in a bit. So talk to me about sat-nav. How did that feel?
A lot better.
Okay, what worked?
A lot better.
What was better? What worked?
Just didn't have a banshee screeching in my ear at the same time with
you're
it.
Preferring it without the sound?
Yeah.
Instead you got me nagging at you instead.
No, you're fine. Yeah, it's the voice on these things that really, it's a bit like Alexa. But yeah, I find that I'm understanding it a lot more.
Okay. So without having the sound on, can you see how it's really important though that you keep checking him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what and use that top bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't think that was happening initially.
No, it wasn't.
Did you find that once we got into the drive you were, and did you find it helpful?
Yeah.
Cool. So my next step I think for you would be that when you get into, once you've done the junction, you get into the new road, yes, we need to be assessing the road and looking behind you in mirrors and working out the road, but you also need to be looking what's next on the thing, because it could have been one of those first turns. And you might be like, okay, drive down the road, right, well, what's that now? Oh, that road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might miss it. I would hope that the sat nav, if it was 2 junctions that close, might do that thing where it gives you an extra bit of information. So it gives you that straight on the roundabout, then left.
Yeah.
If it's giving you that, you need to be considering that it's going to be pretty soon after the roundabout.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Shall we do another route? But now you're less. You don't know where you're going, so you are going to have to use the sat nav a bit more.
Okay.
What about that level of help? Did you want me to carry on sort of asking you where we're going, so we're confirming it together? Or...
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So already before we set off.
Yep.
Where are we going?
Barton Drive.
Yep. Which way?
Left.
And then.
Right.
So you can see it all already.
Yeah, it's all clicking.
So actually, if you're going to set off, why not get a bit of info first rather than try and do that on the move? So you've got to take that. It's left. Now it's saying they're right, so you've got to think they're quite close together. But actually, if you look at the map, you can actually see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful as well.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Right. Do my checks.
Appears to be waiting for cars coming towards you. Do we need to wait for them?
I don't know.
Look behind you first before you make that call.
Yes.
We need to wait for them. Did we need to wait for the cars coming towards us?
I would have just felt safer at this point to do so. I don't know if that's normal practice.
Let me rephrase it in a minute when you move off. So, during this move off, would that have affected any of the cars coming towards you?
No.
Their side of the road. Although you have moved over a little bit too far, but...
so it probably would have affected
yeah,
me
possibly.
somehow.
Saying that though, if they'd have been coming towards you, I don't think you would have moved over that far. You'd have stayed over on the left out of the way. Yeah, we're not affecting those guys.
No.
Behind you, you are, because you're driving in front of them. But yeah, and let's put it in terms of you driving. If it's a bit difficult because we're on the wrong side of the road. I'll ask you in a minute.
Okay.
Don't like that little check, double check to see where we're going. You know where we're going here. Can you see how though if this was 2 lanes?
Yeah.
You'd have to select a lane as you came out. And you already did actually slightly select this side of the road, which is good. We'll just sit here for a couple of days. Would it have been enough time anyway, on the right?
No. Oh.
Just in time. Yeah, so that one car turn in, all that does is mean you take that car out of the situation.
Okay.
And then you've got to ask yourself about the car behind them and kind of get in front of them. Yeah. So if one of those cars moved off, would you be worried about it?
No.
It's on the other side of the road. Don't care about
Yeah.
them, do it? Yeah, not causing us a problem. Can you see how that's the same for you when you were moving off and those cars come towards you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it makes the road look smaller when there's no markings on them, even though sometimes it's probably wider.
Yep. It's interesting. That's partly sometimes the reason why they do that.
Right.
It slows people down.
That makes sense.
Looking behind us. Have you considered where we're going?
Exeter Road. So there'll be a roundabout.
Yep.
And you'll get off at the 3rd exit. Oh.
Now, interestingly, you would be hearing that, but you can't see that on the something. Have a look at the map. Which exit? The signpost. Sorry, which exit is it?
I don't know.
There you go. Good. 2nd exit. So it's
Second
right,
exit.
2nd exit, because there is only 2 exits on this roundabout. Okay.
So.
Nope, right, 2nd exit. What made you freak out? Change your mind there?
I don't know.
Because you'd already said right, hadn't you?
Yeah. I just kind of thought I got it wrong at the last minute.
So the only thing you hadn't got there was the exit number.
Yeah.
Okay, you knew the direction, you knew where we were heading, like roughly, but you hadn't taken out the exit number. That is where the sound can sometimes be helpful, because it will give you that extra information. But we can get that from signposts.
Yes.
Which I'll talk through how to relate that in a minute, but we're driving, so can't wait. Where are we going next?
Okay.
How far away is it?
90 yards.
So would you say it's the lights or further down the road or what?
Round the corner.
Around here?
Yeah.
Okay. To share that information with everyone else. Cool. So going back to the roundabout where we sat here, you looked at the signpost. You knew you were turning right. What information were you getting from the signpost?
Well, this I was looking for. It said Exeter Road or something, and all I could see was timber.
Yep.
Totnes.
Yep. So signposts won't tell you the name of roads. They'll tell you the direction to towns, or maybe sometimes more local places. But it's not going to say the road name. So that bit of information is not necessarily going to work for you unless the sat-nav has said something like follow signs for wherever. How many exits could you see on the roundabout, on the map, on the signpost for the roundabout? Can you picture it in your head?
3 from what I...
Yeah, including the one we were coming from.
Yeah.
Okay. So the right turn would be which exit? Which one? Left turns, which exit?
The first.
And then to the right turns?
Third. Well, second.
Second, yeah. Because the third would be back on ourselves.
Right, okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Good. Where are we looking? Good.
Okay, and then there's a roundabout and straight on.
Good. So we know it's straight on. We don't know which exit it is, do we? You can have a guess, but you don't know. Based on what you've got at the moment, you literally don't know. I know because I know the road, and you might remember the road. But let's have a look at the signpost on the approach to the roundabout and see if that you can work out which exit straight on is.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you're able to put a number on it for yourself. So, where's that signpost? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, which exit straight on?
3. Third. Am I counting it for, well,
I
second?
think you're counting yourself, aren't you? Yeah, so second, yeah. Okay, so now what lane you can use?
Second.
Control the car. Do what you normally do at roundabouts.
And I'm going straight on.
Uh-huh. Cool. So we had a little moment of like forgetting to drive.
Yeah.
You paused for a second and just went,
I had to gather me back.
Where am I? Oh yeah, driving a car. But that's fine because it's that information overload again, isn't it? And what we need to do is make the taking in where am I going a bit easier for you, so you can be like that, and then you can go back to, oh yeah, I'm in a car, I'm actually driving and not the person following. Yeah. Do you need the exit number? Is that part of your process going across the roundabout, or would you? Because the reason I'm asking is when you got to the roundabout, you didn't say I'm taking the second exit. You said, oh, I'm going straight on, aren't I?
Yeah, that's how I look at it. Straight on, or that way, or that way.
Okay, so let's scrap the whole find the exit number and go, tell me, I'm going that way, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
That's kind of how I do it, to be fair.
Yeah. I find when numbers get involved in
I still want you looking at the signpost so that you get a vibe of it's that way. Yeah, because it might be slightly, the signpost might show you that it's slightly off to the right or slightly off to the left. That might help you. So you're still picking up that extra information, but you maybe don't need to count. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are ever counting, because we had that issue on the way there, don't count yourself. You're not a number. You're 0.
Yeah, because that's what confuses me. Looking at them,
You're like, where do I start? It's like, where do I start counting from? Yeah, no, I'm with you. It could have been the top. If it was a clock, you would start at the top, wouldn't you? Cool, where we go?
Here. Yep. This middle one.
Good, is it safe? That.
Yes.
Good. See, this is the bit I'm not overly concerned with, is like you're driving fine, your mirrors are fine, you're driving, it's just, like you say, it's kind of not getting overwhelmed.
Yes.
Okay. What's next?
A roundabout.
Which way?
This way.
I like that. Is there a signpost that's giving you any more information or just confirming what you know?
Yes, exited Torquay.
Cool. Now you've got all your information, do it. Who do we give voting?
Nobody.
Good.
So I had
Staring at the car on the left. Okay, so we've got to indicate there.
Yeah.
Any reason?
I was talking.
Okay. It was an interesting on the approach. You'd had that. You told me you were turning right. You'd said it towards Exeter and stuff on the signpost, and then I said, "Okay, you've got all the information. Off you go." And you didn't seem sure. You didn't seem certain where we were heading.
This is what I mean with my anxiety.
It was like I could see you sort of kind of like, which lane do I go in?
Yeah.
And then you did enter to the right lane, but because of that lack of certainty, my guess is that's what made you then forget to indicate.
Yeah.
And then we get to the roundabout, you're still not maybe fully decided, so we're now not making a decision.
Yeah, and then we start panicking
Okay.
and messing up on everything.
So I wonder if that would help. Do what we just did, like take all that information we need to in, but maybe just turning it into your own language of where you're going.
Yeah.
Like tell yourself. Yeah, so like, Beth, I'm turning right, it's the second exit. Or you don't even have to put the exit number in if that doesn't work for you. I'm turning right, it's that way.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I don't even have to use the word right. Just say I'm going that way, and then start your process. Did you try that?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we going next?
My way.
Okay, cool.
Roundabout.
Signpost?
Timoth.
Yep. Okay, so you got your information, tell yourself, and just apply that now to the roundabout.
Slow down.
Yeah, what else do we do?
Indicate.
Good.
Check it's safe. It is safe. We then go round.
Good. What's next?
A roundabout your way.
Cool. Is there any more information on that top bar?
220 yards away.
What about the little top bar?
Then left.
Good. So, as you see now, there might be a junction after the roundabout, so we've got to look out for that, yeah? Good. So we got mirror signal on there for that one. That's
Yeah.
good. Right. Let's have a look for this next. Is it this one?
No,
Good. How do you know?
because it's too far away and it still says 180 yards.
Okay. Good. Not what I was going for, but I like that
Okay.
logic. But
Now start indicating.
good. Yeah, your answer was way better than mine.
Oh. Oh, there's Gary.
So we're going to pull up on them. Oh, actually, Satnav's telling you. You are on the side. Should we tell Gary about what we're doing?
Gary. No, I can't stop. Can I stop
Yeah.
here? I was just thinking it might be.
Right limit, right limit. Good, that's it. Nice. There we go. Go on, talk me through that. Can I, can't I? Stop him. You were
What?
like, can I stop here? Can't I stop here?
Didn't know if I was blocking somebody's drive or not.
I feel like we are.
Yeah,
It's weird because it's not a drop curb.
but I felt like I missed a point where I could have safely stopped. But
Yeah,
I
I
missed
really
it.
thought you were going to stop there.
Yeah. But
Can we move to that one?
yeah.
Just indicating it's coming. See how we still got to keep that level of awareness up here.
Yeah.
Indicator. Cool. Talk me through sat-nav now then, so that was a bit tricky, wasn't it? Because you didn't know where we were heading.
I actually found that pretty. Once I got into the swing of it, so like that last roundabout, I didn't think that was too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting the gist of it.
Cool. What were we struggling with?
Just whilst I'm thinking and looking, and you know, my inner voice, remember to still drive, to still indicate, still do your mirror check. So it's all got to be one blended motion.
I think you think you're right. I think you nailed it on the head. It's that. I feel like I tell you what I feel like is if we swap seats and you turned the sat nav round so I couldn't see it, I think you could tell me where we were going.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you could you could take the information from the sat nav and say, Phil, we're going down that road. I feel like you've got that, but it's blending that into also I'm driving. Yeah. Now I wonder as well, you know, the whole like put mirrors and signals, because of the way just naturally lessons end up being me giving you instructions, you can have this effect that happens where I will say, oh, at the end of the road we're going to turn left, and that sort of triggers a response in your head like, oh, Phil said something, mirrors, signal, you know what I mean? And then when you take my voice away out of that, it stops you triggering that process. So we need a different way of triggering that process. And my best suggestion would be you need to trigger that process. Whether it's you saying it doesn't have to be out loud in your head, going that way, right, what do I do first? Something like that, because you know the process, like you're perfectly fine like doing what you're like, how to do the junctions and stuff, but suddenly because we're following something else, and I don't know if it's because it's distracting you or because it's just not triggering that response. We're suddenly not doing. We did it for the left turn, like you said, that was better. But the first 2 right turns on the roundabouts, we were suddenly not. And then we had this straight on at the roundabout where you didn't have to signal or anything, but we kind of got to the roundabout and you were like, oh yeah, roundabout. It was that sort of kind of moment. So it's trying. I don't know if it's like trying to, like, maybe again it's struggling to get the information enough, and then being able to apply that on the road, or whether you have got the information but you're not necessarily then triggering that into your process.
I have got the information, I'm just not triggering it. Because I'm always aware of it as soon as I haven't done it. As soon as I don't do it, I'm like, you should have indicated that. Okay,
so we need to find that. It seems to be roundabouts as well, rather than junctions, isn't it? Because I think when we turned left off this road, you knew where it was and you started that process for yourself. So it's just that roundabout. Okay, so we need to kind of get that. Oh, maybe just again, like, I wonder if that just telling yourself where you're going. Like take all that in, signpost, picture on the sat nav, and then go, right, I've got it. I'm going right, or I'm going this way. What does that mean? Mirrors. Start that process. Does that make sense? Oh, I just want to go back to that left turn thing, because we had 2 different ideas, but both work. So I said, how do you know what is it? I said, is it this turn? How do you know? And you were like, well, it says 170 yards. That's not 170 yards, Phil. You're mental. And I love it. That's what we talked about right at the start, didn't we? Like that distance. And even though you don't know exactly how far 170 yards is in your head, you know it's not next to me. Okay, it's good. The other one I would go for is the other thing we talked about is the grey line. So that road on the map was a grey line, so that's another one, like, tick it off. The reason why I would say I'm just adding that to your repertoire is you could have 2 junctions really close together, and so the distance thing doesn't work there. You then have to go, well, which one is it? Which one of these 2 is it? Okay. Good. I'm just trying to think if we've got an example of that on the map. Nope. Okay, so what we're going to go do, we're going to do some more roundabouts. I'll put in a different route, and
just blending it all in.
You're going to try and tell yourself where, like, tell yourself where to go, because I think you were doing that.
It's to get that
start the process.
Get it in early, and then start the next part of mirrors, indicate.
Okay.
Speed, if I'm.
Good. Do you want me to carry on nudging you to look at it, or we?
No, I'll give it a go myself, and
cool.
if you see it going wrong.
I was going to say, what I might do is I might jump in, because I've not seen you glance over. So if I'm jumping in, you need to have looked earlier. Okay. Let's do that. The one other little bit is, do you remember when the last roundabout we turned left, and then it said left again, next left at or it said left into a road. When I asked you about the information there, you sort of just ignored that second bit of information.
Right.
That's the bit that will get you in a bit of a mess.
Okay.
Like on the test where it gave you 2 bits of information.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it means taking more in, but don't ignore what's there in front of you. Yeah. So yes, look at that bit, but actually if there's wait a minute, there's something else going on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might not be. It doesn't even have to be that big deal right now, because you're just turning left at the roundabout, but it's just so it's there in your head. The sat nav's giving you that information for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did help, because it meant that we were quite quickly back onto, like, as soon as you turned, you were then going, where is that left turn? Yeah. And can you imagine if you hadn't have done that, you might have turned and just seen, oh, left, and then you might have turned into that side road because it's a bit more panicky. So yeah, it's quite helpful. We are going to try and remember where we are. Yeah. Right, let's go here. But off we go. Did you want to work out where we're going before we set off? Just to build a picture up.
Okay.
Like, you still work it out on the way, but it just means like, while you're sat here. Another good reason for that actually as well is, particularly when you first set off a journey, sometimes your sat nav's facing the wrong way round because it's been sat in the car, or it might be that it's, like, you might know the road, it might be setting you off that way, and you think, actually I'll just do a loop here and rather than turn around, that sort of thing. So that's an always good one when you first set off, going, oh, which way is it taking me?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was like, left, then left, and then
Cool.
Right. Checks. Gary's coming down again.
Just talk me through your decision to come off the brake and sort of trickle forward with those 2 cars coming up on the right. What was going through your mind?
I felt like I was a little bit too far back.
Okay.
And then I thought I'd just trickle forward a little bit, and then I went a little bit too far.
But you weren't going to drive in front of
them? No. I was just getting a clearer sort of outlook as to what was going on.
Okay. that roundabout?
I needed a bit more control over my speed.
Curious why you didn't.
I didn't see the white line coming up to the roundabout.
Okay.
And it was like the last minute I was like, yeah, I'll stop here, and then I saw that it was like clear to go.
Okay. Yeah, good decision to go. It meant your positioning was off as well because you needed to go around the circle.
Did I just cut across?
Yeah. But
Yeah, I
kind
did
of
what the van did, didn't I?
You kind of had to with the speed reader. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll shut up in a minute. Let's do this.
So.
Pull up on the left in that little lay-by that we used to do for roundabouts.
Okay.
Cool. Should we change it? Yeah. How's that?
I know there was that little mess up at that roundabout, but I'm quite proud of myself
Okay.
with that because I can't read maps, and I did. At least I went the right way, and like.
That's what that's what our goal was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of like follow the sat nav.
And I knew that I messed up that roundabout situation as soon as I was coming up to it. I knew that. Yeah. I knew.
It was, yeah. So we'll go. So on the approach, I was like, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
And you were just like ploughing forward, and then I noticed the moment you saw it because you were like, oh hello, and then you braked, and then I think it, as obviously we don't want to approach like that. It is a bit testament to how you are comfortable on roundabouts because you were very quickly able to hit the brakes, work out what was going on the roundabout, and then continue on rather than slamming on the brakes and stopping. So there was an element of look at what you can do,
yeah,
but let's not.
Yeah.
You just need to be coming in slower there. Then you could have gone around the outside and all that sort of stuff. Now, interestingly, you said to me about you didn't see the white line. How else do we spot there's a roundabout coming up?
Signs, loads. It said there was a roundabout coming up. That was a me problem.
Yeah.
That was nothing else. That was just me being ditzy.
All the cars moving around.
That was just me.
Well, do you think you just maybe switched off?
Maybe. Well, no, I was still quite alert because I'm looking at the map. I'm looking all around me, but maybe I was concentrating on looking at the map so much and looking for the roundabout.
Yeah, that can happen.
When you can sometimes miss
just like watching the blue line going, oh, closer to that thing. Oh, it's a
I'm
roundabout.
Like, look, I'm here.
Yeah, you do have to look into the real world as well.
Yeah.
We can't drive on this little screen.
Just learn from it, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. Again, it's maybe that, and we talked about triggering that process. Maybe it's a similar sort of thing. It's like you needed to go, where is it, so I can start my process.
Except I went deep into thought of looking for it, and then I don't know, vision just went out the window.
Okay, cool. Go back to the positive though.
Thank you.
You got us here.
Yeah.
With no help at all. And I could see you sort of looking for those like early, like you went, where am I going? What's the next thing I'm doing? Even actually turning right at B&Q with the fact we were talking about the roundabout I was able to sort of just go, actually, just hold on, I'll shut up. And you were very quick. You very quickly put on that sort of kind of like where am I going and knew what to do. So you were able to sort of adapt really quickly. Okay, so what's different now, today, with what we've learned versus what happened on the, obviously a bit of practice, but what we've learned on the what you're doing differently, what's helping?
I understand that now. It's not just screaming noise at me, which is what it felt like last time. There's actually a information is going in, because I'm looking for it myself and I'm understanding how it's working, how it's helping me.
Yep.
Whereas before, it was just, I didn't necessarily understand. I understand that it's a fancy map and it directs you and everything. It's just all of the other things that are being said to you at the same time. It throws you off. Whereas this time I felt like I had more control over what I was doing as a driver.
Okay.
At some points. But at least I knew where I was going. But last time I didn't feel like I knew where I was going.
Yeah, and you didn't know where we were going, you just...
Yeah, I worked it out.
Worked
Yeah.
out where we were going. Yeah, good. Okay. I'm trying to work out whether I suggest this or not. Let's give it a go. This is up to you as well, actually. Do you want to have a go, now you know how to use the visuals, with visuals plus sound? Or are you thinking, actually, I'm just never going to use the sat nav with sound?
We'll give it a go now.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't work out, I won't ever use it with sound. But I'll give it a go, because now that I've got that visual information, it might be a bit different.
Yeah. Cool. Right.
Okay.
Let's have another little test drive and see how this goes. Oh God. It's going to take about 5 to 6 minutes driving.
You will arrive at your destination at 1:29 p.m.
Oh, what am I doing? Right, yes, I am doing that now.
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, Jetty Marsh Road. Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit. After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, A382, Exeter Road. Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit. After 100 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the second exit, A383, Ashburton Road. After 300 yards, turn left, Barton Drive. Turn left.
Just find something to put up.
After 200 yards, turn right, Woodley Road, then take the third left.
Enough. How was that?
I thought okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know, but I thought, oh God, have I done something wrong?
No. Okay, yeah, so how did that go?
I thought that went okay.
So, good. Here we are.
Yeah.
We made it, we're here.
Yeah.
How was it with the sound?
I'm listening to it differently now.
Okay.
Because I can read it, it's not as... I know what it's saying.
Okay.
Whereas before it just felt, obviously it wasn't nonsense that it was saying, but I know it seems quite basic, turn right, turn left, but like it's... I can't explain it when you don't understand completely what something's trying to do or the aim of it.
Okay.
It's harder. Whereas now, like visually, I know how it works, so I listen to it differently.
That's interesting. Okay. So now, do you think it then added to your experience of it being silent, or did it make it worse, or was it better?
It was fine. It was just, yeah, it was the same. And I found because I could read it, it was a choice of whether I had to listen to it or not.
Okay. And maybe that sound can add the odd bit of information. Maybe confirm your thinking.
Yeah, maybe if you're looking for something, then it says it, and it's,
Cool.
You then work on it from the map.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm happy. Okay, shall we move on from sat nav a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving forward with the sat nav, and maybe not today because of time frames going there and back. What else would you want to do with the sat nav before maybe testing it out again? In what do you want to improve on it, or what could make it more difficult, I suppose? Or are you just happy that you nailed it?
Yeah, I'm just happy I did it. I mean, it'd be put more to the test if I was really in an area that I'd never been to. Do you get what I mean? Because this is also like muscle memory as well.
I do it on the way back. It was certainly.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I suppose it's not about not knowing where you're going, because that's the whole point of the sat nav. It's like, it tells you where you're going, but maybe on some of these roads that we've been on, it was a case of, oh, it's sending me that way, is it? Oh, I know this roundabout, that sort of thing. So you're not having to also go, oh, what's going on this roundabout?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe next week we can head over towards Torquay, something like that, and test out on the sat nav. Now we're ninja sat navers. We can test out the sat nav in that scenario where it's like, oh, actually, I need to be able to work out where to go.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okie doke.